Well, you guys asked for it, and here I am again talking about the Tom and Christina divorce. What's going on? What do we know? What's been said? And just to answer that, absolutely nothing. Life is going on as nothing happened. Christina is slightly talking, and Tom is completely ignoring this like he has done nothing, and making people suspect even more that he is guilty of something. And man, I really hope he's not, but it's not looking good, Tommy. So let's check in with Tom, unknowingly, like Chris Hansen, walking into a room, scaring the daylights out of a guy about to ruin his own life.
Sir, I just need you to sit on the couch. Come on right over here, please. Just sit.
So I've said this in the past and I'll say it again. I think they are handling this situation absolutely terrible and they should totally fire their PR team. But then again, I've never been famous, went through a divorce, and been filthy rich. I'm just a moron with a YouTube channel. That's slowly growing, by the way. Thank you all so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate this. If they had just come out, made a video, said, hey, we're not trying to be funny, but we are going through a divorce and we're just looking for your support and privacy. We've done nothing to hurt the other one, but we're looking for this time of privacy with our family. But yes, it is true, we are separating. I think a lot of people would have adjusted to that a lot better instead of this just being put out there as like, well, you know what? We've watched Tom completely transform as of late, these past few years, and it's not looking good for Tommy. Now, Tom has had a few podcasts here, and he has absolutely brought up nothing about it. And as soon as you go to the comments with any clip, any video, they are just scattered with everyone repeating the same thing. And the sides have been taken 100%. We don't even know evidence. We don't know where the bloody glove is, but people have taken their side. And Tommy, it's not looking too good, bucko. People have sided with Christina 100%. And this truly, and I'm saying this as someone who's watched this and as a fan, listen, I'm not here trying to beat Tom over the head. I'm really not. I love Your Mom's House. This is something that me and my wife have been watching for years, even before Tom blew up, before he broke his arm, pelvis, whatever, cracked his skull. When that happened, we were like, oh my God. But that's where things started. That's where things started to get a little funny. And Tom mutated into this manosphere, the poors are dumb kind of personality. And it really was this huge culture change for a lot of us. Because this is not really the Tom of old. The Tom of old has always enjoyed crazy videos of people falling off bridges, jumping off God knows what, breaking this or that, getting hit by whatever, just those kind of videos. Things I just can't, I'm obviously using code. I can't say a lot of things here, but you get what I'm saying. We miss that kind of Tom. Now, I'm all for people getting healthy and doing the right thing in their life, but there's a lot of evidence to support that we saw the change. Like I said, me and my wife alone have been here, and I'm talking for myself here, but we've been here for a long time, and we watched the transformation. Now, I said this in the last video, and I absolutely mean it, but I've literally seen this happen with couples in my life. Me and my wife have watched other couples in our marriage, with their marriages. One person starts working out, they really get into the health kick. The other person's like, yeah, I'll do my thing and all this. But one person, their whole personality changes with it. They turn into this like, I'm better than everyone else. And oh boy, something happens. Oh, text messages. Oh, they sign up for some kind of app. Oh, they're taking yoga classes, hot yoga classes. Oh boy, here comes the divorce papers. This is a tale old as time, and I don't think this is something too new. Listen, Tom may be extremely rich, comedy, movies, show, all this stuff now, podcasts galore, but he, at the end of the day, he's just a dude who sits on the toilet like the rest of us, okay? And now he has entered into this place of, it's going to be interesting to see how his career mutates into essentially whatever it mutates into. I think it's been mutating in front of us. And obviously, even still watching this like 6 months ago, we were just like, yeah, he's very much into this bro culture, workout stuff, which is totally fine to a point. But it's if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, and it's kind of it's a hard pill to swallow. I guess what I'm trying to say is the kind of people that Tom has been hanging around seems like these are the guys that would essentially beat me up, even as a late 30s adult male who has wife and children. but these guys would make fun of me because I'm not pumping iron or making enough money to be a real man. That's just kind of the feeling I think a lot of us are getting here with this whole culture, friendship that, Tom is in. In talking about Bert, he's not safe in this conversation either because he is very much wrapped up in this manosphere conversation. But even as late, you've been hearing Bert talk about how Tommy has changed, who he's hanging around with, almost seeming that Tom has been avoiding Bert a lot. And if you listen to Two Bears, One Cave and Your Mom's House, especially Two Bears, One Cave, you've caught comments that have been said here just about Tom's personality. I will fully admit that, hey, when Two Bears, One Cave came out, I remember listening to the first 10 episodes. I remember when it came out during the Cove days. I was there. And I remember when the famous episode came out of the Kool-Aid incident. I remember where I was when I first heard that. I was driving. I had to pull my car over when I first heard Bert confess that he had been drinking Kool-Aid. And Tom thought it was just this protein powder or some kind of healthy or even water. I still remember that. That was such a core memory for me. But there was a lot of those 30, 50 first episodes of Two Bears, One Cave, where it was just really, Tom and Bert weren't these huge mecca people in the comedy world yet, and they weren't so, filthy rich, if you want to be. It was a very different conversation, it felt like, and not everything was about working out and being a health nut. Obviously, they were both starting that journey, but Tom wasn't as aggressive as he was to come, and Bert was always back and forth, sober one week, next week just completely eating buckets of KFC. But this is kind of the back and forth, and that was the fun of this show too for a long time. So now, the last 2 years especially that I've listened to that show, and it's kind of even hard to get them both to sit down together now. It almost seems like it's a chore. Like, you can tell they're like, okay, we gotta do one more just to get it out here just so we can get the money. It's enjoyable, but it's not enjoyable like it was, and I'm saying this as a fan of that show. And two, it really is this place of it felt like when you were first listening to Two Bears, One Cave, it felt much like this secret underground punk band that I found and I listened to and no one really knew about it, and then that band just exploded, and then you would run into people yeah, I love Two Bears, One Cave, and you would look at this person and be like, oh my god, I have nothing in common with this person, nor can I stand them, and they like what I like from this show. Something's changing here dramatically. And yes, I may sound like some jerk for saying that. I get that. I'm the problem. I am the problem, I'm sure. But this is kind of what I was thinking mentally over the last 2 years with Two Bears, One Cave here. But like I've said here, listen, there's still a lot of Tom that I think Tom is funny. I do enjoy Tom's comedy, and especially more his old comedy. I do enjoy when I hear him talk about his family, his children. I think it's hilarious. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this morphs into this new, where does Tom go from here? And I think, honestly, at the end of this, we can sit here and complain all day about this. Tom. But Tom is still a talented comedian. Tom is still going to be loved by a large audience. There are so many famous people, from musicians to comedians, that have done radically, publicly terrible things to their loved ones, and they have been rewarded by it by becoming even bigger. Look at John Mulaney, look at Dave Grohl recently. These are things that were public situations where these guys were going through two different situations, similar situations, but it looked like at a moment oh my god, their careers are in trouble. Well, actually no, they just came back even bigger, and people just forgot all about it, because that's what's going to happen here. People are just going to forget what's going on here, and that's just how it is. That's the business of the beast. I know Tom will talk about this publicly at some point, but it could be a long time. It could be a really long time. Will he talk about this in his new special? What will happen? Who knows? But at the end of the day, this sucks. It does suck, because this was I think for a lot of us, this was like our couple, and that sounds really obviously to say, but Tom and Christina seem like the real deal. Like, this isn't, a situation of just two Hollywood terrible people. These are real working comedians who work their craft, who work their business, and love each other. And I'm sure they do love each other, but, this is where things are at right now. So we'll see where it goes from here. But anyway, I guess thanks for listening. Good luck to everyone's relationships out there. I don't know how to end this.